Thanks for joining us today on Envision. I'm Deanne Conrad with Dr. Brian Maher, our superintendent, and we are talking about growth in the Sioux Falls schools. It's a wonderful problem to have and may not even be considered a problem, but it is something that we continually watch from year to year. And we are expecting an increase, as we have in the last several years, an increase in the number of students who enroll with us this year.
In fact, earlier this year I called it a delightful challenge because it's so awesome to be growing and having the vibrancy that we have in the community. And I think anybody that looks around the city of Sioux Falls see that it's a very robust city, that we continue to grow. So to think that our public school system, which is reflective of our city, is growing shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody. So that all is truly a delightful challenge. It'll only be a burden if we don't recognize that we're growing, and we have to stay on top of the challenges that the growth brings with us. And the school district has done a wonderful job over the last several years now of accommodating that growth. Last year we opened up Susan B. Anthony Elementary School. Which very soon we're going to have a ribbon cutting for Sonia Sotomayor Elementary School. We added New Tech High School not too many years ago, CTE Academy not too many years ago. So we've done a number of wonderful things to accommodate the growth in our city, and we're going to have to continue to look at those things and figure out what solutions are best for our city.
Right, monitoring those classes as they come up. It's always difficult. We can do projections, and there's a mathematic calculation about how we can figure out what the projected numbers are going to be, but until we get students in the seat and then see them progress through the grade levels, it's never really a sure thing. But we do pay attention to, a couple of years ago, I know it was 5-6 years ago, we talked for several years in a row, this is the largest kindergarten class we've had, in the Sioux Falls School District. And so those kids are getting up to the middle school grades now, and we're going to see some of that progression.
You bring up a great point. Somebody asked me, well, where's our growth? Well, it's from the bottom up. As a city, we continue to grow. We have more families, we have more young families, we have more toddlers and infants. And one of the things that we've found over time is those toddlers and infants, they grow into 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. They come to school, and we've got to find space for them. So we're getting bigger. We'll have a modest growth, I think, by Sioux Falls standards, but that modest growth will probably be somewhere between 250 and 400 students. So from a percentage standpoint, we're only going to grow by about 1% or 1.5%. But from a number standpoint, imagine 300 or 400 students. That's a lot of students. That's more students than several districts.
Many school districts
have in total. So it's a challenge every year, and something that we take seriously.
And looking at that down the line, what will that incorporate? What will we have to do in terms of that long-term planning?
Let me give you a statistic that says something's got to change. In our high schools right now, and that's Roosevelt High School, Washington High School, Lincoln High School, New Tech High School, Career and Tech Ed Academy, that's Joe Foss, that's any high school experience any of our kids can have. We can currently physically accommodate about 6,900 students. Okay, that's a rough number, but about 6,900 students. That's a 4-grade enrollment. Some of those are fifth year, but most of those are within that 4-grade enrollment. So what I do is I look at our lower grades and our 4-grade enrollment, and when I look at our lowest 4-grade enrollment, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade, I see just short of 8,000 students. So we have 6,900 available spaces. We have 8,000 students. We have 1,100 students that have to go somewhere. So either our educational delivery model will have to change, and it's changing, it's evolving. Or the space that we have to educate those children needs to change, or some combination of those two factors has to change. So what does that mean from a physical plant? Well, we can add on, we can build a new high school, we can do more online instruction. I think what we really need to do is look at all those options, do our due diligence as a school district on that research, and then put those options in front of our community and say, what do you think? Because this isn't a decision that the superintendent makes. This isn't even a decision that the Board of Education makes. This is a
Sure.
decision that our community has to make.
Absolutely.
And so we'll be deliberate. We don't have to make a decision next week. We'll be deliberate in how we go about finding those solutions. But over the next year or 2 years, I think we'll really need to have a dialogue with the community about what do we want this to look like.
Right. A lot of opportunities for families and business leaders and community members to come together and have that conversation then as we
All of those
move
groups,
forward.
All of those groups will address that delightful challenge.
All right. Wonderful. Well, it is a good challenge to have.
It is.
Thank you for joining us today on Envision.